What you are about to hear was never supposed to leak, but it did. And once you know it, you cannot unknow it. Hello, friends. My name is James, and you are watching Royal Daily Report, your #1 source for the most exclusive, most shocking, and most talked about royal stories on the internet. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button right now because you do not want to miss what we have coming. And if you have been here from the beginning, you already know. We never stop. We never hold back. And tonight is no different. Let us get into it. 5 days, July 7th to July 11th, 2026. That is the window. That is the specific, confirmed, publicly announced 5-day window in which 2 small children, a 7-year-old boy and a 5-year-old girl, will be in the United Kingdom for the first time in 4 years. ABC News confirmed it. ABC 7 confirmed it. Newsweek confirmed it. The Sussex family spokesperson confirmed it. July 7th to July 11th. 5 days. And inside those 5 days is everything this family has been building toward, fighting over, negotiating, hoping for, and dreading all at the same time. 5 days in which Archie and Lilibet will breathe British air for the first time since they were 3 and 1 years old. 5 days in which their grandfather, a 77-year-old king who is fighting cancer and who has not held these children since June 2022, may finally get to see them. 5 days in which Meghan Markle will be on British soil for the first time since she stood at Queen Elizabeth's funeral in September 2022 and watched the coffin pass. 5 days. And as of tonight, it is not certain that those 5 days will happen at all. Tonight we are telling you everything. Every confirmed detail. Every unresolved question. And the one thing that is absolutely certain no matter what happens with the security. This visit, whether it goes ahead or not, will define where this family stands for the next decade. This is Royal Daily Report, and tonight, we are counting down to July 7th. Let us start with what is officially confirmed. Because after weeks of rumors and leaks and conflicting reports, a spokesperson for Prince Harry and Meghan issued a formal confirmation that is now part of the public record. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex will spend 5 days in the United Kingdom, from July 7th to July 11th. They will be bringing their children. Prince Archie, 7 years old. Princess Lilibet, 5 years old. The visit is centered on several of Harry's charitable commitments. Scotty's Little Soldiers, a charity supporting bereaved children of military personnel. Well Child, the national charity for seriously ill children and their families. And the Invictus Games Foundation, Harry's own creation, the adaptive sporting competition for wounded veterans that will be hosted in Birmingham in 2027. ABC News confirmed that Archie and Lilibet will not attend public events with their parents. That detail matters, because it means the children are coming, but not as a public spectacle, not as a photo opportunity, not as a managed media moment designed to generate headlines. They are coming privately, to a country that is half their heritage. And whatever happens during those 5 days, whatever private meetings take place, whatever rooms they walk into, whatever people they are introduced to, will happen away from the cameras that have defined every other moment of this family's public life. If you want to understand why these 5 specific days carry so much weight, subscribe to Royal Daily Report right now. Because what comes next is about what those 5 days actually represent. Let us talk about what has changed since Archie and Lilibet were last here. Because 4 years is not an abstract amount of time when you are talking about children. In June 2022, when the Sussex family attended the Platinum Jubilee celebrations, Archie was 3 years old. He was old enough to walk, old enough to wave at a crowd, not old enough to form lasting memories of where he was or why it mattered. Lilibet was 1 year old. She could not walk unassisted. She had no context for any of it. The country, the crowd, the family, the ceremonies. None of it registered in a way she would ever be able to recall. Now it is July 2026. Archie is 7. He is in school. He has friends. He has opinions and questions and a developing sense of who he is and where he comes from. He is old enough, in the specific and important way that developmental psychologists describe, to form memories that will stay with him for the rest of his life. Lilibet is 5. She is in her first years of formal education. She knows her own name, all of it, Lilibet Diana. She knows what the name Diana means in her family. She knows she was named after someone her father loved and lost. She is old enough to walk into a room and feel it, to look out a window and see England for the first time she will ever remember seeing it. Royal author Robert Jobson, speaking to Newsweek, put it with a simplicity that cuts through everything else. He said, Harry wanted to bring his children to get to know their grandfather. Now they are old enough to remember it. Old enough to remember it. That is the specific, precise, heartbreaking reason this visit is happening now and not 2 years ago or 2 years from now. These two children have crossed the threshold into the years when memory forms. And Harry, a man who lost his own mother before he was finished forming memories of her, knows exactly what that threshold means. Like this video right now, if the idea of these two children finally being old enough to remember this matters to you. And subscribe to Royal Daily Report, because what comes next is about the crisis that is threatening to take these 5 days away. Now let us talk about the security crisis, because this is the unresolved question that is hanging over everything. RAVEC, the Royal and VIP Executive Committee, declined Harry's request for taxpayer-funded police protection during the visit. Harry's spokesperson confirmed on Monday, June 29th, that the Duke continues to explore every available option to enable the visit to proceed safely. ABC News reported that the spokesperson stressed that accommodation has never been the issue and referred specifically to the role of RAVEC. Newsweek confirmed something that makes the timeline of this crisis even more painful. Harry and Meghan received the RAVEC decision late on a Friday. On what should have been a hopeful evening, when the trip was just confirmed, the security decision arrived, causing what Newsweek described as significant distress to Harry. And by Monday morning, Newsweek reported, the plan was already being described by those inside the Sussex camp using the phrase that became the headline, pulled out from under their feet at the 11th hour. Those are not dramatic words chosen for effect. Those are the words of a source close to Harry describing how it actually felt, to have planned, to have negotiated, to have arranged accommodation with the king, to have confirmed publicly, and then to receive, on a Friday evening, the information that the government body responsible for security had said no. Again, royal author Robert Jobson, who has enormous sympathy for the complexity of Harry's position while acknowledging it has limits, said something that sits with you. He said, "A father who refuses to expose his children is doing what most fathers would do." That is the decision Harry is facing right now. Does he bring Archie and Lilibet anyway, with private security, and accept the level of risk that comes with that? Or does he keep them home, keep them safe, and accept that another year will pass in which they do not know their grandfather? Do not go anywhere. Subscribe to Royal Daily Report and turn on those notifications, because what comes next is about King Charles and what he is reportedly doing right now to try to save those 5 days. Now let us talk about what King Charles is reportedly doing, because his response to the security crisis has been, according to multiple sources, exactly what you would expect from a grandfather who has been waiting for years for this moment. ABC News confirmed that Charles offered the Sussexes accommodation for their July trip at a royal residence, which would have police protection. Read that carefully. A royal residence which would have police protection. Charles's offer was not just a house. It was a house with security already built in, because the King of England's properties have standing police protection. Permanent. Not dependent on RAVEC's approval. Not dependent on a government committee's assessment of a specific individual's threat level. Just there, because it is where the king lives. And if Harry and his family are staying at the king's official residence, they are, by default, under the umbrella of the protection that exists there. That is the solution Charles reportedly engineered. Not by fighting RAVEC, not by challenging the government decision, but by quietly offering his son a way to bring his family to Britain that sidesteps the entire security committee process. Reality T confirmed something that the insider source described with complete clarity. The king will allegedly not only pay for security, but also ensure that Harry and Meghan and their children reside in a royal residence for the duration of their visit. The king paying. The king arranging. The king finding a way. Despite everything. Despite the divided palace. Despite William's reported fury. Despite the RAVEC decision. Despite the headlines calling this a disaster. The king is still trying to make those 5 days happen. Because those 5 days contain something he has apparently decided he cannot afford to miss. Let us talk about what 5 days actually looks like for two children who have never properly been to Britain. Because this is the detail that sits underneath all of the security negotiations and palace politics and RAVEC decisions. July 7th, Monday. Archie and Lilibet arrive in the United Kingdom. For Archie, the first time he will be old enough to actually register being here. For Lilibet, the first time she will have any memory of this country at all. Whatever they see through the car window, whatever the air smells like, whatever their first impressions are of the country their father calls home, all of that happens on July 7th. And it will stay with them, not because of the cameras, not because of the royal significance, but because that is how memory works in children between the ages of 5 and 8. Things stick. Places stick. The feeling of a place sticks. in ways that last decades. July 8th, 9th, 10th, the middle of the 5 days, where the private moments happen. Where, if Charles's security arrangement holds, and if Harry accepts it, a grandfather who has not seen these children since they were 3 and 1 years old gets to sit across from them, to talk to them, to hear their voices, to see who they have become in the 4 years he was not there to watch. July 11th, Friday, the last day, the day the Sussex family flies back to California, and Archie and Lilibet take with them whatever Britain gave them, whatever memories formed, whatever feelings settled, whatever understanding they now carry of the country, the family, the grandfather, and the grandmother whose name one of them was given at birth. Here is the honest truth about where this stands tonight. As of July 2nd, 2026, the visit is confirmed in terms of dates and intent. July 7th to 11th. The children are coming. Meghan is coming. Harry is coming. But the security remains unresolved in the official sense. Harry's spokesperson says every available option is being explored. Charles has offered his personal resources and his royal accommodation. And somewhere in the gap between what the government decided and what a grandfather arranged, 2 children are waiting to find out if they are getting on a plane. Archie and Lilibet did not choose any of this. They did not choose to be born into this family. They did not choose to grow up in California. They did not choose the security dispute or the memoir or the Oprah interview or the 4 years of distance from a grandfather who loves them. They only know what their parents have told them, that Britain is where their father is from, that their grandfather is the king, that they are going somewhere new in July, and that their grandmother, Diana, is buried in a garden in England that they have never seen but that has their father's heart in it. Robert Jobson said it plainly. Harry's heart was in the right place. He wanted to bring his children to get to know their grandfather. Now they are old enough to remember it. 5 days. July 7th to July 11th. Old enough to remember it. This is Royal Daily Report. And we will be here every single day of those 5 days to tell you what happens. That is all for tonight, friends. I am James, and this has been Royal Daily Report. If this story hit different for you, hit that like button right now. Subscribe if you have not already, and turn on those notifications because we drop new stories every single week. Share this video with one friend who loves royal news. I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay informed, stay curious, and stay royal. Goodbye, friends. Hello, friends. If you are not subscribed to Royal Daily Report yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that button right now.